I'm trying to quit being a medium. It's not as glamorous as you might think. You know, I tried to cut back at first, but there's no HR department. And separation, that's permanent. You know, sometimes I just don't feel like talking to them, and sometimes they don't feel like talking to me either. Or us, if you want to go with us. Yeah, so they like to talk about food a lot with me. They try to get me to eat food a lot because they really miss food. Which can be a problem for me because once you eat food for one spirit, word gets around really fast up there. And the next thing you know, my very real body has a medium 15. It's kind of like the COVID 20. Like this morning, my deceased cousin, she's obsessed with the giant blueberry muffins at Intelligentsia. So, of course, I had to get two, one for each of us. What else? It affects my dating life. I never get to have a one-on-one with anyone. There's always a throuple situation, me, my date, and the deceased great aunt who just wants to make sure I'm not too weird, which by that point the date is over because I'm talking to a dead person. Mostly I think they worry that I'll spill the family secrets, which I do. You know your second cousin? That's your sister. Oh, I am from Georgia. What else? Oh, okay, so it always makes me seem like a flake, too, if I'm, like, on a lunch date, okay? And my deceased friend Gary loves cheeseburgers. And I'm like, no, Gary. And he's like, but just smell it. Just order, smell it. So I ordered a cheeseburger, and my date is so horrified. He's like, I thought it said you were a vegetarian. Well, it's been like this my whole life. Communicating messages from the living to deceased, deceased to the living, deceased to deceased, and yes, that includes animals. Earlier, I was waiting to meet someone to go on a hike, and I was like, oh, you have a dog? You're bringing a dog? It's like, oh no, cats all the way. But I'm like, I see this deceased dog attached to him, Snoops. And Snoops is like, he said he's a cat person, didn't he? Okay. I know, that was kind of bad. But, I have had a couple of serious relationships. I was recently proposed to. But I'm not quite ready to relocate. I was married. With my first husband. Toward the end, I knew that he knew that I knew before he knew. And after that, there's just not much left. It's okay. It worked out fine. It bleeds into my job, too. Boundaries are tough. I worked as a law clerk, which is an attorney who advises a judge. And I always got assigned to the death cases. And I was in the last day of this murder trial. In case anything unusual comes up, which it did, the jurors are sending a message to the judge. Sometimes that happens. But in this case, it was a message for me from defendant, who, did I mention, is on trial for murder? He wants to know, do I have plans after trial? Little does Death Row Romeo know that I have already seen all the text messages and Google searches on his phone from this trial. I have a pretty good idea what happened to your last girlfriend. Oh, yeah. And who is chiming in, too, by the way? Oh, my grandma's here. Hi, Grammy. Oh, yes, I did get the nice fellow you sent me in the orange uniform. I probably did mention something about men in uniform. I must be more specific in my manifestations. Thank you.